one of the things that I think is really driven home in the movie, that was again something I gleaned from the musical, is that Bach is an incel. Like he is up and down, like a straight up incel. He Glinda never, I get like Glinda never outright says like, I don't want to go out with you, no thank you. But she does react like most women react, in her own way, where it's like, I'm gonna go over here and maybe you can go hang out with that girl, she's cute, please stop talking to me.
Yeah,
Like,
she even gets his name wrong.
he gets his name wrong
So,
multiple
like,
times. It's like, come on, dude. Like, realize. And then what is driven home about like why I think Bach is an incel in this movie is that he straight up sees that Glinda is getting married, and he's like, no, I have a chance. I can go convince her that I'm the right guy for her, even though she's getting married. Like, the I get that he's in an unfair situation with Nessa. You know, like he's in a very unfair
yeah.
situation, but at the same time, like he could have had a very early talk with Nessa and said, like, look, I don't like you like that. And he made the decision not to.
Well,
Because
he was about to
he
tell
was about
her.
to, and
Hey,
he
the
decided,
Nessa,
yeah,
Nessa.
Nessa, yeah, and
But then
he,
he sees Fiero and Glinda kiss, and he's like, "I think you're so beautiful."
yeah, exactly.
And
He made
he's
that choice.
leading her on. He's
Yeah,
leading her on. He's gaslighting her, really,
yeah,
because
and
she's like, she's clinging to this moment in the Oz dust, which is one of the changes I like. Is Nessa saying to Elphaba when she visits, not that, oh, I wish I could walk. It's, I wish I could feel that feeling again,
yeah.
where where Bach was lying to me, but she doesn't know he was lying.
Hmm. I mean, they're both in the wrong for radically different reasons, right?
Yes.
And I have Nessa is not, as a person my favorite, because she has
Yeah.
her own selfishness, her own like, her objectives and goals are driven by the fact that like she feels sorry for herself, and she blames Elphaba for everything she can possibly put on her, because that's how she was raised. It was like everything is Elphaba's fault, and that's how her father saw it. So naturally to Nessa, if something goes wrong, it's Elphaba's fault, not hers. And she never internalizes that and never thinks for a moment that like anything that has happened that's wrong is her fault. It's because of Elphaba. Elphaba did this. If Elphaba hadn't been born the way she had, I wouldn't have been born the way I was. And that's why she's wrong. So, but going back to Bach, like that whole like inceldom kind of is amplified when he becomes the Tin Man, because when he becomes the Tin Man, he is essentially, he is a Frankenstein's monster, but like also a bad guy, you know? Like he is so angry and upset, and even though he watches Nessa put that spell on him and become like, and his heart is ripped out of his body essentially, and
Yeah.
Elphaba tries to fix it so that he can live, but he still blames Elphaba for everything. It's not Nessa's fault. All of it again goes back to Elphaba, and he reinforces the way that Nessa was thinking in the first place. That like, if you hadn't done this, if you weren't born, none of these things would have happened to the rest of us. Um, and then there's one point in like the mob scene where like Glinda comes out on her balcony and Bach looks up at her, and it is not explicitly said, but you can tell by the anger in his eyes that Bach blames Glinda in some way or another for how he became. Like, if you had just gone out with me, I wouldn't be a monster right now. This is your fault, not mine. Like, the choices I'm
Yeah.
making in the I have is not something I need to deal with. It's your fault. And the fact that he essentially continuously blames women for the way that he is, I think, what makes him an incel.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's just, if he had any other characteristics or had
Hmm.
any other, you know, redeeming factors to him,
Hmm.
maybe we wouldn't be like, oh, he sucks so much.
Yeah. But he's not even nice. Like, he's not even a
Yeah.
kind person. From the beginning, he is in it for himself. He wants to date the popular girl. He accepts that he has to be with this person that he doesn't care about. Like, if he had for once had any moment of conviction, spoken up for himself, defended himself, he wouldn't be where he was. But
Yeah.
that's not, no, it's not his fault. It's Elphaba's fault. Oh, it's Nessa's fault. Oh, it's Glinda's fault. It's the fault of every woman who has ever been around him, but not his, you know?
Yeah. And the fact that he was just like, okay, well, she's engaged. I'm going to go and tell her how
Yeah.
I feel.
Oh, I've got
Like,
a chance. Like,
like it's Jonathan Bailey. No.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you didn't have the chance from the beginning. What makes you think you have a chance now that she's getting married? Like,
Yeah, which I understand. You got to speak your truth and everything like that. But at the same time, like, read the room.
yeah, seriously. Read the room, speak up for yourself, grow a backbone. You wouldn't have been where you are if you had a spine. And that's the lesson for Bach. Don't blame every woman around you for every problem you have. And two, grow up and stand up for yourself, you know? Like, if he had any ounce of conviction in his bones, I'm sure he would have found somebody at Shiz to date him who was pretty and nice and kind, you know? But
Yeah.
he is not nice or kind. Like, he doesn't take responsibility for like anything in his life. Anything. He just goes with what other people tell him to do, and then he blames those people that he chose to follow.
Another thing about him is he's a nice guy who has to tell you he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think the reason he's bothering us so much is because it's such a realistic, everyday kind of person
Yeah.
that we've all have encountered
Hmm.
before that
Hmm.
is much more like realistic.
Yeah. And I mean, that goes back to him not having a spine, because you wouldn't be like her servant if you had just spoken up. And if you had spoken up at any point at all, like, because what Bach essentially does is his choices, and I'm going to lay this right on his shoulders, his choices to be palatable and nice result in the Munchkins not being able to travel without a permit. It results in legal action against his own people, and oppression against his own people, because he didn't say, I don't want to date you, to a girl. And
Yeah.
he will not accept that responsibility. He will not at all accept the fact that, like, my choices led to my people's oppression, essentially. He just thinks it's someone else's fault. Oh, it's Elphaba's fault, it's Glinda's fault, it's Nessa's fault that I am here. And it's like, no, you're not. It's because you didn't grow a spine and all the dominoes fell, and now Munchkins can't leave Munchkinland. Like, yeah, because you're a nice guy.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And he doesn't even know Glinda. He's already like decided he's like in love with her and she should leave his fiance and just all those kind of things where he's like, just like Nessa did the same thing where she's created this like kind of reality. But
Hmm.
at least in Nessa's defense, Bach and her have spent a lot of time together
Yeah.
and he has made it seem like he likes her.
Yeah, he did make it seem like it was all his choice. And like, I think about that moment in part one, where he meets the governor. And the governor is like, you better take care of my daughter. And Bach sees that as a threat. Like Bach is like, well, if I don't go along with the governor of Munchkinland, like, I don't know, maybe he'll hang me or something. I don't know. You can see Bach cooking up all of these reasons. Again, finding reasons to not stand up for himself because of what other people want. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to make people upset. Sometimes you have to disappoint people that you care about, because otherwise they'll walk all over you, you know? And if you have friends that care about you, and you care about your friends, I think that taking that risk to say, like, I don't like this, like, I need to draw a boundary. Drawing boundaries with your friends is what strengthens your friendship, because at the end of the day, it's saying, I don't want you to not be my friend, but like I need this level of respect in our relationship, or I'm going to walk, you know, like I have to take care of myself and I have to protect my heart and my emotions and my mental health. And Bach doesn't do a single thing. He doesn't. He
No.
just sits
And
back and
it
takes it.
and if he's like, "Oh, I just didn't want to hurt her." He doesn't realize that leading her on all this time and
Hmm.
then being like, "No, I'm in love with Glinda. Bye." Is going to
Yeah.
hurt so much more. Like he does not think anything through. Maybe
Yeah.
he should be the scarecrow too. He should be a
Yeah.
scarecrow 10 men because he is brainless and heartless.
Exactly. If there is any lesson anyone takes away from Bach, it is that standing up for for your feelings is going to hurt people way less than sitting there and building resentment. And I mean, like one of the things that I learned over the course of my life is that resentment is a relationship killer. It is a relationship destroyer. It is why relationships that end badly end so badly, because these people don't talk to each other. They just go with it to be palatable and like to keep their partner or their friend or whatever. They just deal with these things that make them uncomfortable and unhappy. And over time, just dealing with it builds hatred and resentment. And then one day you snap at your partner and say, "You've done all this, blah, blah, blah to me, and you do this and this, and you're always this way." And the other person, even if they have done all those things, you haven't communicated that to them. And like not saying anything at all it's what builds it's what results in blow up breakups, you know, rather than
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you go your way, I go mine," or like maybe even in the best situations, like, "We're breaking up, but I still care about you and like I'd love to be friends," you know? And
Yeah.
because there are a number of exes that I am friends with, and there are some exes that I'm not friends with for, you know, much worse reasons. But like being able to end, if Bach had ended that relationship with Nessa, she would have maybe been hurt for like a couple weeks, you know? And then she would have been like, "All right, well, I'm going to keep going. We have a whole semester to get through. Like, I'll go make more
Yeah.
friends. Maybe there's another hot guy around here who will talk to me." Like, that was a really big university. I'm
Yeah.
sure, you know.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, yeah, with if he just went in the dancing through life sequence, if he was just honest with her, be like,
Yep.
"Hey, I have feelings for Glinda. I think you're cool. Can we be friends?" Everything would have been solid, but
Yeah. Like, she would.
he was using her because he couldn't get with Glinda.
Right.
So he was
Exactly.
like, "Okay, well, here's a girl right here I can have."
He sees that his friendship in this group, like his part in this group, is getting him close to Glinda and giving him opportunities to try and convince her that he's the right guy for her. And that's gross.
Yep. Do you think Bach is the worst? Let us know.
It's like the wizard, Madame Marble, and Bach from the bottom up, like the worst people in the musical.
Yeah. Who do you think is the true villain? Is Bach actually the villain? No. He's just not a
Bach
good
is like
guy.
a mid boss antagonist. He isn't like the boss to me, but he is not a good guy. He's not a
I'm
nice guy.
glad that I'm glad Dorothy met Piero first.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
On the road?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
god. That poor girl.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, if you got to meet anyone first, thank goodness it's Fiero the Scarecrow, because
Instead of freaking the 10 man who hates women.
who hates women. Oh my goodness.
We hope you have a wickedly good day for good.
For good.